There are thousands of DOS games. Most of them are terrible. I play one selected at random with a 20-minute time limit and record it live. This is the result. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an Accolade and Road and Track game. Grand Prix Unlimited! Yeah, look at that Grand Prix car go. It's definitely moving. Designed by Tom Lawnie. Enter a number, 546. Oh, that's actually right. What a shock. Okay, we've got a menu here. And as you can tell, I am quite enthusiastic about this. Listen to that music. Fantastic. So, what's architect? So like in stunts and stuff, you can create your own tracks. Okay, that is pretty sweet, I have to say. A lot of modern racing games don't include that, and I thought that was always a tremendous idea to have like tracks that you could share over the internet and stuff like that. Okay, let's just go single race and see how it goes. McLaren Honda. Yeah, sounds good to me, why not? South Africa? Yeah, sure. Let's just test out the driving engine and see how it goes, shall we? Prepare to practice. Watch your right side. So before we launch off, we've got a nice little map in the top left-hand corner showing us the racetrack. We've got our gauges at the bottom and our mirrors, which makes sense. We've got position, time, and miles per hour in the sort of top to middle right. Let's get going. Okay. So there's there's lights going on there, right? Oh boy. Right. Okay. Right from the get-go, I need to talk about this. Firstly, the soundtrack is both amazing and hilarious. Like, having sound in the middle of a race when doing Grand Prix racing is like, yeah, that's cool. The engine, I mean, it's playable. There appears to be a bit of auto steering going on in this practice, so I'm finding it. I was about to say I'm finding it quite easy, and then I started skidding. I also noticed there appears to be a little bit of a delay. There's a little bit of a delay when it's drawing the map. So this isn't as arcadey as I thought it would be. There's a degree of sort of race simulation here going on, which is quite cool. Also, apparently there's some cars behind me as well, if you look on the map there. So they might overtake me because I'm just being a filthy casual about this game. Oh, and... oh, he skidded off! Get back on! Also, because I'm using the Munt MT32 emulator, the skid sound overwrites the music. So every time you skid on the track, the music skips. Now, I don't know if that's the case in the Sound Blaster mode, but for those of you who hate that, you might want to check out the Sound Blaster version. Then again, the music in the Sound Blaster version might just be ear torture. So... yeah, this is okay, you know. Accolade do good stuff, but unfortunately, this was released not in 1989 as it should have been, but in 1992. And the big problem with releasing a Grand Prix game in 1992 is that a man called Jeff Crammond existed. And you're probably like, Lawnie, why is that an issue? Well, Jeff Crammond released Formula 1 Grand Prix, which basically renders this completely obsolete. It's a shame, really, because if you treat this like a sort of late 80s racer instead of a delayed release, you know, that's running on clearly 80s technology, you know, it's quite enjoyable. It's quite entertaining. but when compared... Oh, good grief. When compared to Grand Prix by Jeff Crammond and Microprose, well, there isn't a comparison. There just isn't. You can actually go back, I think it was my 100th video I played it on for the Random DOS Game Show. I played it 20 minutes. It's one of the greatest DOS racing games ever released. And this just, just no comparison, which is a shame, really. We made it through a lap. Look at that. There we are. Yep. And lap speed was 140 miles an hour. Okay, we'll quit out of that. And we'll go back. Let's just go straight back to the menu, I think. There's a World Championship option, which clearly I don't really need to explore because, you know, it's similar to the single race, except in true Formula 1 fashion. You have points and you have, you know, laps that you do in qualification and so on. You know how Formula 1 works, right? So I'll give this points for having the architect system. That's really cool. That's a feature that the Microprose game didn't have, you know? I'll give it points for the soundtrack, which is hilarious and entertaining. And the race engine, despite being dated, if you like those sort of 80s style racers, then yeah, there's a lot to like here. Unfortunately, it was released in 1992, and by 1992, there just wasn't any chance of it being close to the simulations that were coming out at the time. And if you like me talking about random DOS games, I do it all the time. Feel free to take a look at the hundreds of other videos on my channel, and if you like what you see, you can subscribe. And if you prefer Grand Prix Unlimited to Formula 1 Grand Prix, you can always prove me wrong and become a patron. I don't know why you do that, but these people became patrons for entirely unrelated reasons, and they're fantastic. Until next time.